A very good day to all my listeners all across the globe. Welcome back to my podcast, George Nathaniel. And this is indeed George Nathaniel for you. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast and, of course, motivating me to come up with newer subjects or newer topics every time. Well, as you'll know, I always talk about things that help us through our lives. I talk about experiences where it's an exchange of good experience that can help you further develop your life, an experience that can take you places, and an experience that has some meaning behind it. All of my podcast comes with some kind of a topic, and these topics are very specific to that particular podcast. So, listeners, I have a very interesting topic for today. Something that each one of us knows about fully well. Each one of us has the best experience in it. So I feel my topic for today is a topic that relates to everyone because each one of us has hands on experience on this particular topic. Well, the topic for today is action beats doubts. Well, each one of us knows it that action beats doubts. But in spite of that, we continue to live in doubts. So, the first thing before I get to my topic, I must tell you is don't overthink. Act. Put it into action, as that is what will take you places. And remember, listeners, as each one of us know fully well that action is the only thing, whoever or whatever, that can beat our doubts. And it is something that has some end results. So, be it whatever, if we put that particular thought process or that course into action, we will end up with some end results. And nothing beats that. So, relating to my topic, action definitely beats the biggest doubts in the world. And remember, if I'm saying action beats doubts, it doesn't exactly mean to blindfoldedly get into the forefront of things. It definitely needs a little bit of a thought process, a little bit of evaluation. We need to put in a little bit of considerable thoughts into whatever the matter or whatever the action required. And that definitely will yield some positive results. So, getting back to my topic of action beats doubts. Well, we need to understand that for us to put our action into place, we need to go with our conviction of self belief. That is very important. We need to believe in the course of action because once we believe and we put it into action, we're giving our best. And giving our best will definitely result in the best result over its action. So be courageous, have the conviction that whatever you have decided is the best over the course of action. Remember, self endorsement is the best endorsement in the world. If you endorse yourself with self belief, you are halfway through. So, listeners, when I say action beats doubts, and if you want to deliberate, if we want to debate in it, if you want to cross examine things, I would say the most simplest ways that each one of us can do is when we talk about action and doubts, let us relate to a few very common things. Well, what happens with action? Action means something. It takes us somewhere, someplace, and it has some end results. Doubts is nothing. It's something that is endless. It goes on and on forever and is nothing. So unless we don't put those doubts into action, we can never define any course. So action definitely means something. Next, we need to understand that action is easy. If we have put our thoughts to think, if we have evaluated our action, then action is easy. Doubts are the most difficult things in the world, because doubts is a part of thinking that can take up space for the entire day, or it can take up the most amount of time just thinking about things, or thinking about eventuality of something that you do not know. Action definitely is the real thing. So till the time we don't get into the course of action, we don't exactly know the real course of things. So action definitely is a real thing. Whereas when we look at doubts, doubts is actually thinking virtually. It's something that is eternal. Doubts are something that always comes to our mind. But action is definitely the real thing. Well, listeners, the most important of anything, I would say, action takes you places. The moment you take action on a particular dream, a particular plan, a particular experience, or particular goal, you reach somewhere closer to it, or you end up achieving that goal and planning over a newer goal or newer achievement in life. But when we relate the same thing in terms of doubts, doubts takes up space in that particular place. So you fill that space with doubts. So you're never ever going to go anywhere. So remember, like I say in all my podcasts, we need to be positive, we need to be progressive, and we need to have self-belief in what we do. We need to understand the value of ourselves. We need to understand the value of a contribution. And we need to understand that we are important. Next thing, when I relate to, I think the final thing that I can say when you talk about action and doubts is, because it will just go on and on forever. Action is definitely the place to be. Because the moment you're in the course of action, you are traveling. The moment you're in the course of action, you're growing. The moment you're in the course of action, you're evaluating. And when you look at the same thing in terms of doubt, doubt just keeps you stagnant in the particular place that you are. In fact, it just fills your mindset of creativity. It takes away the creativity. So action definitely is the best place to be. So whatever in life, no matter how difficult a task, no matter how big a goal, no matter whatever the achievement, if we work towards it, we get somewhere. So like I said in the beginning, don't think, act. It takes you places. So listeners, when we relate this to our personal lives, when we relate this to our professional lives, or when we relate this to our goals in life, what are the key takeaways that each one of us can relate to? What are the simple key takeaways that yes, we can look at? Well, if we are looking for results, action definitely is top priority. When we're looking for results in terms of action, it helps us to identify and better our potential. It builds our self-dependency and confidence. It increases our stakes on future goals. It helps us to believe that yes, we can go the extra mile. So looking for results, definitely action is the place. If we are looking to learn and grow, definitely action is the place. Because if you're looking to learn and grow, unless we've never tried something, we can never believe. We can never evaluate our thought processes without action. So action will definitely help you to learn and grow. When we talk about agility on our talent, we need to be agile. We need to keep bettering our own benchmark on our talent, on our potential. If you're looking at bigger goals, if you have bigger aspirations, if you have bigger dreams, everything has to be measurable. It can only happen when we learn and grow. When we look at the simple theory of opportunities and success in anyone's life, you know what is the most simplest thing that we can do? Understand, if you're making something in life, if you're making something in life in terms of action, so we learn and we grow. When we look at success or failure in terms of action, remember it is defined in the way and what we do or whether we continue to dream it. So doing it is much, much more important than dreaming it. You must have the dream and you must have the belief to put that dream into reality. There is a beautiful saying, a beautiful proverb, or these beautiful lines that I really love. It says, dreams don't work unless you do. And I truly believe in this proverb that dreams never work unless you do. So when we talk about to do here means nothing more than action. And when we talk about action, we need to relate to the tick of the clock. And when we look at the tick of the clock, we see time ticks waiting for no one. And that should motivate you over your next course of action. So don't get stuck onto things. Remember, as you act, you grow. And as you grow, you learn. And as you learn, you continue to grow. And as you continue to grow, you continue to achieve bigger success in life. So, listeners, I hope you like listening to my podcast and relating to the subject of action beats doubt. I once again leave you with the line, don't think, act. It takes you places. And I leave you with one of my best phrases that I've come across. Dreams don't work unless you do. And I thank that wise man for this wonderful lines, for this wonderful thought to motivate us to get over the course of action, over our dreams. I wish each one of you all success in life. Continue to build the happiness, continue to grow, continue to build wellness all across in everything you do. I wish each one of you success. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. This is George Nathaniel. I also have my blog website, which is georgenathaniel.net. You can come and listen to my podcast or read my blogs. And my podcast is available across all platforms. So I wish each one of you all happiness and success in life. Thank you so much. This is George Nathaniel.